the uses of modern biotechnology and exploring the applications of genetic modifications. So, what is GMO? Uh, GMO stands for genetically modified organism, or simply refers to any plant, animal, microorganism whose DNA has been altered using modern biotechnology. So in here, scientists modify genes to give organisms specific traits that do not occur naturally or would take a very long time to develop traditionally into that organism. And uh, is it safe? However, GMO are also a topic of debate. Some concerns include possible effects and to environment, mental health, human health, and economic issues which we would be discussing later on. And in summary, GMOs are powerful tools in science that can help improve food production and healthcare, but they also require careful use and regulation to avoid abuses. Brief history of GMO and started in the early 80s in the 80s with the scientists like Charles Darwin and Gregor Mendel who helped explain inheritance and evolution. And in the 1953, scientists discovered structure of DNA, making genetic engineering possible. And in 1970s, recombinant DNA technology was developed. And fast forward in 1994, the first tomato became the first GMO sold commercially, and today GMO crops like corn and soybeans are widely used to improve food production and resist pests. And here in safety of GMO, strict testing procedures have been done before it was used to the public, and where major organizations such as World Health Organization and among these uh, are continuously testing GMO for its safety, such as its molecular analysis, where scientists study exact genetic changes, change what gene was added or where it was inserted, and how stable it is over the generations, and also toxicity testing. New protein produced by the GMO is tested and make sure it is not toxic for the public or humans and animals also. And allergenicity test, in which researchers check if the introduced gene could cause allergic reactions by comparing it to known allergens and uh, testing its effects. Also, its nutritional comparisons. The GMO is compared with non-GMO counterparts to ensure it has similar nutritional value, like vitamins, carbohydrates, proteins, or fats. And also, environmental. Here examples of GMO products like corn. On the left is a corn plant heavily damaged by pests, insects, feeds, and its leaves and its growth is significantly reduced compared to the right side of the picture, which is genetically modified. And in this GMO corn, scientists changed or inserted a gene that allows the plant to produce a natural protein from Bacillus or Bt bacteria. This protein is toxic to specific insects but safer for humans and other animals to digest. So we can see in the picture, which is genetically advanced and also the one that is not. And also cows. Cultured cows to make sure that cattle have the desired traits like strength, disease resistance, size. Farmers use selective breedings and traits to their offsprings. And also soybeans, same with corn. Uh, so what are its potential applications? Here we can see agriculture. In agriculture, GMOs are mostly used to enhance crop performance, as mentioned as before, and food production. Scientists modify crops such as corn, rice, and cotton to make them more resistant to insects, pests, plant disease, and harsh environments. Like also drought. Some crops are also designed to tolerate herbicides, allowing farmers to control weeds more efficiently without damaging the crop itself. And its medical application involves uh, one of the most well-known examples here are in treating diabetes. Engineered insulins are produced here, and also some developing vaccines, antibiotics, and therapeutic proteins. In addition, it supports medical research by helping scientists study disorders and develop potential gene therapies for disease such as cancer and inherited conditions. And in its environmental application, GMOs can also contribute to an environmental protection and sustainability by creating pest-resistant crops. Uh, chemical pesticides can be significantly reduced, and also which helps soil, water, and surrounding ecosystem from pollution. Some generally modified plants also designed grow in poor soil conditions or absorb harmful substances from environment, which help soil improvements. And also animal productions technologies used to improve health and productivity of livestock animals such as cows, pigs, fish, and genetically modified or selective bred, like we discussed earlier about the cows. And the next is risk and controversies. What are its risks of examples are ethical issues, gene transfer, economic issues. What are the economic issues? Like example, first, let's start with ethical issues. Genetic modification raises ethical concerns about altering natural structure of living organisms. Some people question whether humans should interfere with genes, especially when it involves combining genes from different species. And gene transfer or biologic and its biological risk concern is the unintended transfer of modified genes to other organisms. For example, genes from GMO crops could spread to wild plants through cross-pollination, potentially creating super weeds that are harder to control and are also concerns about possible long-term effects on the ecosystem and biodiversity. And these economic issues could create an economic challenge, especially for small-scale farmers. Many GMO seeds are patented by large companies, meaning farmers may need to buy new seeds each season instead of saving them. Uh, this can increase costs and create dependence on biotechnology companies. And also skepticism from the public concerns. There's an ongoing public skepticism about safety and long-term effects of GMOs. Some people worry about health risks, environmental impacts, and lack of transparency in labeling, especially in big companies, where misinformation and limited understanding can increase fear and resistance among when scientific studies show that approval of GMOs are generally safe for consumption. Overall, while GMOs offer may benefit, these risks and controversies highlights the importance of careful regulations and also ethical considerations and public awarenesses. Thank you for listening.